Enjoying secrets of a sugar daddy? How about a little something extra? Here's today's dose of extra sugar with Marcus.
Hey, this is Marcus, and welcome to this segment of Extra Sugar. All right, guys, the deadline is approaching quick for the party. So if you have not signed up and you want to go and you want to get your entry in, the deadline is at the end of October. But we may have all the spots filled by then. So we only have a few left. We're trying to make arrangements now, but we do have a few left. So go to secretsofasugardaddy.com, click on Come Party With Us. It's a quick survey, a few photos, and a video of why you want to party with the crew of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. It's going to be a ton of fun. We have got the party bus lined up. We've got the pre-party planning going right now at my house. We've got all the lodging arranged. It's a private suite to see Ricky Martin, Pitbull, and Enrique Iglesias in concert. All you can eat, all you can drink. I'm telling you, it's going to be a very fun weekend. Now, if you do get your entry in and you are not chosen, we will be having future parties, and you will automatically be entered into those. So if you want to go ahead and send that in, then we will make sure that you are on the list to be looked at for the next party. Anyway, on to today's Extra Sugar. Now, this is something that we talk about quite a bit, and that is, do you compensate for a meet and greet? So this gentleman, we'll go with Spartan. He says, I should know better, but even with experience, we can make bad judgments. I matched on Seeking and had a decent meet and greet over dinner without any financial discussion, and she seemed promising and interested. Over text, we agreed on a PPM, and she said I could send it now. I told her I could give it to her when we meet, but she wanted compensation for the dinner. Told her that was not a real date, but I would deliver if we had a relationship. She said okay, but it would be a nice gesture if I bought something from her wish list on Seeking. I hesitated, but felt it might be a good compromise. I eventually bought something for a couple of Benjamins, and she thanked me. The next day I asked about our date, and she says, I don't think we're a good match. I told her it was dishonest to ask for a gift and then bail, and she said, exactly my point, it shouldn't be a big deal. I told her my point as well. You can't just ask for anything because someone has more than you. Needless to say, I learned a lesson without too much of a cost. Just another reason to hold firm on this policy of not compensating for meet and greets. It also shows some of these gals are not so bright. She could have had a pretty lucrative arrangement over time, but was greedy. It's always possible that was her plan, or that she has another in the wings, but still. Okay, so he did the meet and greet, and he didn't compensate her for that, but apparently she just wasn't that into him, and she did kind of rent him. I don't think she ever had any intention on going through with an arrangement, even though they agreed on a PPM. So she got what she could out of him, and which was a nice gift off Seeking. Now, they do have a wish list there. If you look at it, everything is overpriced. I mean, if you really want to get somebody something, just send them cash. That they can do more with that than anything else. And matter of fact, Alejandra, my mean sugar baby, got flowers from a guy off of her Seeking wish list, and she ended up giving them to her mother, which was a really nice gesture. But I don't know, she probably would have rather had the cash. But yeah, so this girl just didn't seem like she was that into you and didn't want to continue, so she kind of got out of it what she could. There's some comments. One of them says, Southern Slick says, don't ever buy shit from the wish list on Seeking, ever. I would not say she is not so bright. It's a short-term strategy she is using. If she can pull this off 3 times a week and 2 guys give her a few Benjamins or gifts, she's going to party. It's a low-grade finesse, but a finesse nonetheless. I don't pay for meet and greets, and I always bring up numbers at the meet and greet, not after through text. Yeah, I've been on both sides of the fence here. I've met a lot of girls off of Seeking, and in the old days, I didn't quite have enough funds to just compensate every single person I met off of a meet and greet. It would cost me a fortune. But now I've kind of changed my tune. I'm a little bit more selective, and I do appreciate the girls' time. They go through a lot. They get ready. They clear their schedule. They come and meet you. And yeah, they get a free dinner or a nice drink and some good conversation, hopefully. But there is a lot of time and effort put into their part. A lot of times it's a little bit awkward to talk PPM or an arrangement at the meet and greet. I mean, you just kind of go with the flow and how it feels. But I definitely think you should gift them something small. I usually at least give them $100 or $200 for their time. I mean, if you can't really afford that, then this lifestyle may not be for you, and they really appreciate it. On the other hand, I've had girls demand payment for a meet and greet, even though I was going to pay them anyway, and it just kind of turned me off, and I end up not going on that meet and greet because actually the payment they were demanding or wanting was kind of high, like $400, $500, $600 just for a meet and greet. In the meantime, my budget for a sugar baby can be $5,000 to $8,000 a month is what I spend on dating. So a lot of times, being short-sighted, they could have so much more in the long run. I've gone on meet and greets where in the past I didn't compensate them for the meet and greet, and then we end up having $4,000 or $5,000 a month arrangement, which is pretty decent for the amount of times that I saw them. So sugar babies, don't be short-sighted, and sugar daddies, help them out on the meet and greet. I think it's the right thing to do. Let's see what somebody else says. Buffalo says, I did this my first week on SA 4 years ago and then never again. Same exact situation. I'm considering showing my number of gifts bought on my profile as a badge of honor. Vince says, here's another lesson. Don't argue with people on SA. They will report you and get your account banned. Also, that wish list is full of stuff that is 2 to 5 times MSRP. Like, what the fuck? And Gordon says, not really rinsed. Rinsers keep going until you figure out you're being rinsed. More like you got played. And San Fran says, agreed. SA needs a rating system or some way to flag the scammers. Acrobatic says, lather, rinse, and repeat. Every time someone asks for money outside of a normal arrangement frequency, you will regret it. Every time. Blisterbox actually has a different opinion. He says, disagree. I had a potential ask for a full allowance after we made out for half an hour in her car after the meet and greet dinner. I had the money on me. Always be prepared, LOL. And I thought, what the hell? The meet and greet went great, and she appeared to be worth the risk. I gave her the money, scheduled our actual first date for a few days later, and we ended up having a wonderful 6-month arrangement. As I've said here many times, if the prospect of losing a few $100 is going to ruin your day, you shouldn't be in the bowl. Yeah, I kind of agree with that one. Sugar Baby Shaw Art says, the issue with thinking this way is that it fails to take into account that it is encouraging this negative behavior. It isn't about losing the money, it's about protecting each other from people who would take advantage. The pool is already polluted with Johns, escorts, and rinsers. We really don't need to add yet more bad actors to it. Big Simple says, generally good advice, but not always true. I have had requests for transportation and loans advances that worked out fine, but you have to be a good judge of character and be prepared to lose it. I look at it as gambling. I could lose all of this, but if it works out, the payoff could be huge. And finally, someone named This Relation commented, my take from the sugar daddy side, she lured you in with, it would be a nice gesture. Then she no longer wanted to see you in person, post PPM payment. Suggest that you write it off to the school of experience. Sugaring can be tough at times. Finding that special person can be a journey where one might feel beaten up along the way. In the words of Denzel Washington in The Equalizer, when you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too. All right, I think we're going to end it right there. Thanks for listening to today's Extra Sugar, and don't forget to catch a full episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy every Tuesday, and boy, do we have some good ones coming up. I actually have, I believe, the next 5 weeks of recordings already booked. And I'm telling you, these guests are going to be fantastic, and you're going to love what you're going to hear down the road. So appreciate all the support. Share it with your friends. I know it's kind of a hush-hush subject, but we're trying to make it a little bit more acceptable because sugar dating is a great way to have beneficial elements to both parties without all the pressure of a relationship. And then if a relationship begins, it does it naturally. But it's sure nice to take that pressure off in the beginning, and you have a fun date, great conversation, I hope. You go your way, I go mine. Let's do it again soon. And speaking of doing it again soon, we'll see you again. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed your Extra Sugar with Marcus. As always, visit our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com, to comment or tell us your story.